Good evening, everyone. Have a look at that. Not every day is great, is it? We just broke below 109,000. We are at 108,688 for Bitcoin. Am I concerned? I am not at all concerned. Matter of fact, I will be purchasing some more right over here. 108,185 is where my important support level is. I do have a bit more in the case if we do continue dropping, which I still wouldn't mind. Those levels are 104,641, and then ultimately I'm looking at this 98, 97,000 approximate zone. I think that is like a absolute worst case scenario. Like we're talking like 4-year bull run cycle type danger if we do break below 90, 98,000 really. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not even expecting this order to get filled, 104,000, but we shall see. This one is looking more and more likely by the hour, so hey, maybe we'll hit it live. I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, it would do nothing other than lower my average price to, I don't even know, maybe 112,000. And that's nothing too crazy, but we were just at that level just this morning. But the drop has managed to continue, so unfortunately my prediction was not right. And somehow, Supertrend has not really followed. It's still at 117,000. So, I mean, realistically, you could still have a rise up to 117,000 and then continue dropping as normal. It would look normal, as you'd still be in a downtrend. But I don't think that is going to be the case. I'm hoping at least that this super trend continues to drop to maybe around 114,000 as we find our local bottom around 108, maybe. I think 108 would be safe for now. We are currently at oversold zone for Bitcoin. This is a good moment to take advantage of the dip, even at this current price, 108,900. Yeah, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave this over here just because I want the best price. And sometimes that has resulted me in completely missing out on such a great entry. And we really have no like actual fundamentals as to why we are crashing. A lot of my portfolio is already in the red, but I don't mind it. I've been taking advantage of it and purchasing some more. I think I could check what I purchased. Where do I see what I just purchased? What is this scam? I purchased something, that's for sure. Something got filled. Open orders. Do I have to refresh maybe? Because I think I had this open for such a long time. I'm gonna refresh. Alright, let me check now. No, still no. Why? It should say like open long, right? Unless I am crazy. I'm sure I saw something like stellar get triggered. Yeah, it did. So what's the deal with that, huh? Exchange issues, probably. New position, Pepe. Still in Litecoin, nothing changed. XRP, nothing changed. I don't plan it to change. Aptos, I had another order filled. I made a bit of modifications to what the previous order was. I made it a little bit closer to the price at that time a couple hours ago, so that's why we have another order filled over here. That's 2 entries in Aptos, and I have another one below it, which I'll share later on. Sui, I don't think, or maybe it did. We'll get to it when we get there, I guess. But let me go back to discussing Bitcoin. The important thing at hand, we just hit 108,600. That was our lowest point. I still think some overnight volatility can help me get this order filled. Just a little blip right over here before we continue higher. RSI is like fighting at these prices. It's at 30 currently at 109,300, but you go below that, you're already at like 29 point something. So I feel like this is likely to get hit. I'm not too concerned. Even if it doesn't, like, sure, just start pumping everything then, right? No, it's not going to start pumping immediately after. It really depends. Market's always against me, but it's fine. I outsmart it. So I mean, local resistance, looking very heavily at it, this 111, 112,000 area. Then you got 114,500. And then we're looking at the 117 to 118,000 for resistances. But right now for supports, your most important one is 108,000. Probably not the most important, but the more relevant one that's coming up soon is this 108,000. Then you got 104,000, like I said. Then worst case scenario, of course, 98,000. Why do I mention 98,000? There's a lot of analyses out there also pointing to 98,000 as the floor of the floor, right? We cannot go lower than that. You'll also notice the super trend also invalidates at 96,388, and this is in the weekly chart, which, if you're not aware, in the weekly chart, this is what actually determines the current bull run, right? This is such a terrible chart, but let me go to USDT so you can see it better. So, okay, that number is still there, 96,000. Ever since January of 2023, when Bitcoin hit its bottom of 15,000, and then we started rising from there nonstop, super trend has never flipped bearish. And that has been the indicator that this is the start of, you know, the new 4-year bull run, right? After crypto winter is over, we get 2 years of a bullish run. That would take us to from January 2023 to January 24. We just passed January 25, and a lot of people were expecting the cycle top to already be in. I still think we got a couple more weeks in us to get us that last push, at least to my personal target, would be great. 135,500, and then I'll accept a, you know, defeat. But by then, super trend should continue higher, maybe even up to 100,000. And then that will be below 100,000 for a couple of years if crypto winter was to continue here. This I'm going to delete because I absolutely hate people who analyze charts like that. Like, why? Trend line resistances, I don't think that really exists. But people still draw them, and I guess it works in some instances. And it also helps determine, you know, one of these levels. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up that exact article that I'm talking about. So this is a trend line from previous all-time highs from 2021. We're basically just trying to determine, okay, where is the bottom? The 50-week moving average is what this guy is using in the daily chart, Colin Talks Crypto, saying that the local top is in for now at 124,000. And we are breaking down from this support line at 112,000, which I mentioned, everyone mentioned 112,000 was a very important level. We just broke down below that. How low can we go? I mentioned local supports at 108,000, 104,000, and then it's ultimately looking like, obviously after the 100,000 psychological level, we're looking at 98,000 as our major support confluence, because you got support and resistance from before. This was like the low from wartime. We thought we were getting into World War III when the United States bombed Iran. The trend line from previous all-time high tops from 2021, that's looking to converge at this level as well. And so will the weekly moving average, the 50-week moving average, sorry. Sorry, this is not in the daily chart, then it should be for the weekly chart, but it's shown in the daily, the candles at least. So that's a way to determine this. We would have a major support for the bull run, I would assume, at this level, 98,000. And also whatever this is. What do you even call this? Whatever. That's what I don't understand about some of the lines, but hey, other people who do these kinds of analysis, they're coming to the same conclusion as I am, and that further gives me more confidence, and I thank them for that, ultimately. I'll give him the credit where it's due, and I'll read what he says. Multiple confluence show at 98,000. I mentioned all those levels. Personally, I don't think the bull run is over. But I do think now is going to take a while before we can see another approach at all-time highs. Could be up to 2 months, which also coincides with my own personal analysis. I still think we got it like a couple more weeks or 2 months maximum in us. Not maximum, really. September, October, I think we'll top out. September, Bitcoin top. October, altcoin top. November, we can start crashing. I'll give you that. Because we got some good stuff happening. September, rate cuts. October is Uptober. Really, that's the only reason. Anyways, this timing is not going to leave any room for a blow-off top of any significant size by October. So either the bull run goes for longer, which is what a lot of people are also saying, like maybe we don't even have a crypto winter at all, it's just up forever, but I think we will have our retracements eventually. What was I reading? Or we have a weird non-blow off top cycle. Sentiment is far from euphoria, that is also true. I do want to check this. Fear and Greed Index, it's looking neutral for now, at least according to this. Or maybe this is delayed. Yeah, we're dropping a little bit below, it seems like. We are entering fear territory at $100,000. How bullish is that, right? Come on. Why are you scared when Bitcoin is $100,000, right? What else? Perhaps in November to January, anticipation for a top beyond October is increased. The other option is the top is already in, although that would be low odds based on complete lack of proper sentiment top. I've got a lot of other reasons as to why we are probably not in the cycle top, which I'll discuss when we get to our news segment. The lowest price I see Bitcoin reasonably going is around 98,000. The point of multiple points of confluence marked with the arrow. We don't want to see it go below that. Otherwise, the market could very well be over. Also part of what I just analyzed, even despite the lack of a proper sentiment top. So if we drop below 98k, bad. Price above 98k, good. And I personally agree with that. Based off of my own conclusions, my own analysis. Also paying attention to the weekly super trend. 10-3, by the way, it's not the 5-5 that I normally use in the 4-hour chart. That's the only difference I have with these super trends. But it's looking at, yeah, 97 and then 96. You know, you get it. It's basically around that point, even with a bit of leeway, just in case the price crashes down a little too hard. But I think it should be fine. We're already recovering. That is insane. Not 109,500. We were $1,000 below that just a couple seconds ago. Minutes ago. So, all right, let's move on to other coins. Ethereum, one of the top droppers at this time already. Look how quickly sentiment can change. One day we're at all-time highs. The next day we're dropping like a 7%. And it's like, okay, already down to it in a downtrend here. For what? I decided to draw some support levels earlier, which we were just meeting with the first one right now. Whatever this number says, 1,344.17. Pivots are telling me there's another support at 4,277. I doubt that one. I'm more inclined to believe 4,155. Lowest point over here, 4,061. We got basically enough support levels for Ethereum, I think. It's not going to crash too hard, or hopefully not even below 4,000, but only Bitcoin will help determine that. If we do see Bitcoin dropping below 100k, yeah, sure, we'll see a more significant drop for the rest, but I don't think we will. Solana, we are also falling back down over here, but it's not too bad either. My entries are still way below, so my position is still in positive is what I'm trying to say. And if I did not have anything in Solana, I would be looking at 184 as a possible entry right over here. You could maybe even combine it with a Fibonacci if you really care. But Solana's just been doing great, and it's just erased all the gains. So that's why we're not as low with Solana. Uptrend is maintained, so that's pretty good as well. But if we do break the support, of course, that would mean the end of the uptrend. And we'd start looking for new supports, which we'd have to zoom out for a bit of a longer scale to determine where that might be. And if that does happen and we go below my 178 entry, I will indeed continue to load up more Solana. But as of right now, I don't see that happening. I just think this, really, what's the reason why we're crashing? There is no reason. So I'm leaving everything up for the rest of this week, personally. Moving on, XRP. What do we have here? 285 is my entry. 286 is the current price. I'm making a whopping $5 on XRP. It's awesome. We got some really good news with XRP today, and we're crashing just because Bitcoin is crashing. So should tell you the state of the market. Do we have an entry here? Absolutely not. XRP can continue going much lower, and I'm not looking for any entries at this moment. I already made this tiny one over here, which I didn't really care about too much. Didn't take profits when we rose up because overall, like for the rest of the markets, I'm still expecting us to continue higher. Even as much as this week. But I could be wrong for this week. We're already off on the wrong foot here, but you know, things can easily turn around. Wednesday, we're getting Nvidia earnings. Tuesday, we're getting, Thursday, we're getting economic data. That is GDP, and then PCE on Friday. Important stuff. We're hoping to get bad economic data so that the markets will go up, as ironic as that sounds, because we want to lock in the percentage chance of us getting a rate cut for the next meeting in September, which you'll notice that it's already dropped to an 83%. This was at the high 80s, low 90s, just like days ago, right? Even after Jerome Powell's speech that happened at Jackson Hole last Friday, that was good enough. He was dovish and peaceful. He didn't say anything too crazy, and people liked that. The percentages went from 70-something to 90-something, and that's why we had a huge rally in the price right over here on 22nd of August from 8 to 12 that morning when Jackson Powell had his speech. That was at 10 a.m., I think. That's what we got for this. Cardano. Hey, look, I was all bummed out about, you know, this not getting triggered. Looks like it's going to this time. I said, even from yesterday, I'm not going to touch this limit order. I'm going to leave it there. Because I think the entries are perfectly positioned. So it should hit that very soon. And if it doesn't continue as lower, it wouldn't bother me. And I'll accept defeat on it. We would be entering an official downtrend for Cardano if my order does get triggered and we break below this super trend line at 82.91. So yeah, watch out for that as well. If we do drop below that, we're looking at 75 for our next support. 74.75. SUI, looks like we're about to break this uptrend and start heading into a downtrend instead. So I will go ahead and prepare that. Just mentally prepare. And I don't have any orders on here. I should have had an order. Didn't I delete one? Order history. Does it save even if I remove it? Why is it showing me stuff from like August 11? I know obviously we're in August, but August 11, what? Does it show what I canceled? Here, order status canceled. Why is it not showing me? Okay. Can I do this instead, like from last week? No data. All right, cool. Be like that. Is it because I'm on USDT or USDC? No, that's got nothing to do with it. Okay. Well, it's just being odd, I suppose. I guess I could always go back to my own streams to figure out. Oh no, I'm lying. We just filled up the order right here with SUI. Okay. I am blind. Either way, it should tell me here, like, yes, you just filled an order in SUI, but it's not here. Unless there's some, like, weird technicality with it that I'm not aware of. Maybe it updates the next day. I don't even know. It's whatever. What did I buy at? 332.8. We're at 332. Wait, 335 currently. So, okay, that was a perfect buy. Slowly starting to bounce up a little. And it dropped my average price down to 341. So I have 1,500 or 2,000. I've got 2,000 total on SUI. Okay. That's not too bad. I'm okay. I'm content with that. 341 average price. What if we go lower? That is a good question. How much lower? From here, I suppose. Because from this Fibonacci that I have drawn, like the last level is just the support line at 326. I don't think I will be purchasing that. I'm going to extend this. Probably should have used this one in the first place, but it's fine. My entry would have still been around over here. The 323 still practically remains. Here's a good one. 301 would be a good entry and support, because you're likely obviously going to see the $3 as a psychological support level. People would not want to see SUI below $3. you're going to see some efforts to fight for that level to maintain it from the bulls. So I'd put my bets on that. Matter of fact, I will go ahead and drop something here. I'll average it out because I like to do that. It seems to have worked out for me. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 301857 is that divided by 2 is this. This is your entry price. I'm still holding my mic with my hand, so just bear with me. How much do I drop? Which way, Western man? We'll do 1500. It's my liquidation price, 218. Yeah, we're good. Place the order. Okay. Awesome. What's next? Chainlink. Chainlink seemed to have constantly been on a roll, and we've finally reached our support. $23.34. That's where we are right now, and that is a support level. Can we break below that? Could be likely. If we do, it's not going to look that pretty, and I would wager from here is a good area to draw Fibonacci zones. Okay. That level makes sense. Compared to this, I don't think we're dropping to an April 7 low, are we? It could. This support too does coincide. What did it look like before? Still kind of the same. No, I'll do the longer term one. It's fine. From lowest point to highest point. Okay. 21. That feels like it's so expensive for an entry. Like, you could DCA just a little bit if you really want exposition into Chainlink. I think I might, because I really like Chainlink. And I'll take advantage of the dip just to buy into it. It's just been doing so well, and I feel like this could be a bull trap. So we gotta be careful with it. But nonetheless, you got another entry at 19, maybe 17, 16. And then last level, you're looking at 14. From here, good luck. But I don't think we're going to drop that far. You know what? I think I'll pass on this first one for sure. I'm not going to be entering over here. I'd consider entering at 21. I still feel like that is so high. I don't know. I'm not going to touch Chainlink yet. I'll just leave it there and see what I decide later on with more profound analysis on my own. I decided to enter into Litecoin. I think I had this order from yesterday. I don't remember, but you know, it's been filled now. 112 was my entry. We continue dropping. We hit the support at 106. I had my second order right over here, 105.91. That did not get filled, unfortunately. So I just sit here and wait, I guess. Not much I could do for Litecoin. Current price is 109. Still waiting for that to continue dropping. To it. I'm losing 32 on it right now, yeah. That's unfortunate. But hey, if this downtrend does continue, I'm not too concerned with it. And if it doesn't continue, good. Go up with all of what I have. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly fine with the way things are in the market today. As much as I disagree with this drop, but nonetheless, here we are. I entered another position on Stellar, teased this a bit at the start, finally positive on it, and oh, that is a lot. 2,500 is at play. Why 2,500? I'm sure I bought 500, 1,000, and then maybe another 1,000 over here. That might have been the case, yeah. Hey, but it dropped my average price really to a good level, right? Average price at 38,618. We're at 38,742 right now. So, hey, that's pretty good. Can we continue dropping? No, we can't. Otherwise, my whole plan will be ruined. What was I thinking over here? Putting it at take profit at 49, that would make me 2,000. I still think we can. I'm going to hold on to these. It should be fine. Great. Oh, and then I entered Pepe, and then I entered Aptos. I'll just demonstrate these entries. Look at that perfect entry. And then, oh, what is my price? 0098382. And this is 1,000 Pepe, so there's 3 zeros. There's supposed to be 3 more 0 digits on the price, but it's been multiplied by that amount just so that there's not so much zeros across your screen. Something that the exchange does, but it's not like Pepe doesn't actually cost this amount of decimal points. There's 3 more zeros in between. Just FYI. And Aptos. Great. Also a perfect entry. And I think I put it like right over here, right? My entry's 426. Oh, it was actually here. Yeah, approximately right in between those. And now my average price is 428. We're at 427.96. We're almost there. And I still think Aptos is a really good buy, even like regardless of what the price is at these moments. There's a bad example. Let me go to a USDT chart. So, not sure if I explained it before. You see my liquidation price was like $2 and something. We've never touched these levels ever in Aptos history. I'm not saying that we can't go find and hit that. It could happen. We are in a downtrend, for crying out loud, but I still think, you know, we're more likely to shoot up like we did 1, 2, 3 times in the past than, you know, to find a new bottom with Aptos. And Aptos is genuinely a good project. Genuinely better than Sui. I'll be the first to admit that. And like it has more transactions per second, things like that. Similar founders to Sui, right? It's just not as popular, but it is a good contender, and people are sleeping on it, in my opinion. The fact that we're at these lows for Aptos, come on, give me a break. So yeah, that's the update on my portfolio. Thanks for watching. Now, moving on, we will go ahead and talk about the news. We've got a lot of news to talk about today. Nothing really that drives the markets to the downside, I would say. It's just mainly people freaking out on Twitter, but that's all. We had a Trump press conference today at the Oval Office, a meeting, whatever you want to call it, where he essentially was discussing executive orders that he was signing. One of them was to do with the cashless bill. It's basically, that's when big crime in this country started. You know, you would kill people, you'd go to jail, but then you just pay your bill, you get out, and then you continue, cycle repeats, right? Trump says that we're ending that. And he also was bragging about the Washington, D.C., how it was in such a safe, secure state. The fact that, you know, there's been no killings or no crime, like low crime now in Washington, D.C. due to all the federal police that are there. So they're doing a good job. And now people are also like, you know, wearing their watches again on the streets. They're able to walk freely with their expensive equipment without the fear of getting mugged or anything like that. And people are saying, hey, Trump, please do this in Chicago, do this in New York, do this in, you know, LA. They want it everywhere now. So I guess that might be coming soon. Trump also signed an executive order enacting legal consequences for people who burn the American flag. He's saying that is the most sacred and cherished symbol of the United States of America. Desecrating it is uniquely and inherently offensive and provocative. He also says that it incites riots, things like that. It is a statement of contempt and hostility toward our nation, and an act used by groups of foreign nationals calculated to intimidate and threaten violence against Americans. A lot of people are for this. A lot of people are against this as well. They're saying, but this is my free speech. I'm free to do what I want. If I want to burn the American flag, I should be allowed to do it because it's my flag and I do with the things that I have whatever I want. And other people are like, no, but this is our country. This is what represents our country. You're burning the flag. That's like treason, things like that. I kind of lean to more towards that side because, yeah, like who do you see burning the American flags? It's people who hate the country. And why are you in the country? If you hate the country, you shouldn't be there. You should be, you know, that's the logic that I seem to understand based, you know, behind that. But sure, whatever. Free speech laws, I mean, yeah, they're there. You're allowed to express yourself however you want. But you know, there should be limits. I don't even know if I want to say this. There should be limit. Like, you can't go out and commit crimes because you'll get arrested for it. That's the kind of thing. And I feel like, yes, criminalizing burning the American flag doesn't harm anyone. And who's actually burning American flags on their free time? Like, really? You go to 1 year in jail for that, is ultimately the conclusion for this. He also talked about Intel and the stake that the government now has in Intel. 10% stake, practically paid $0 is what Trump likes to brag about. He says that he hopes other U.S. companies do this as well. He's hoping that other companies they're able to give ownership to the United States government. Again, some people are for this, some people are against this, some people like that, you know, the ultimate money printing machine that is the government is now supporting this company that I have my money invested in that is good, and price of stock go up. He also mentioned Intel stock going up, but I think it's kind of come down a little bit lately. Let me just confirm. I have not looked at the stock chart. Yeah, it's kind of like oscillating at the top. It is what it is, but this major pump is from the news that the United States is getting involved within the company. So some people like that, and also the security grant that the United States government can give to your company. But then other people are like, okay, but we don't want the government getting involved in this company because they're going to control it and whatever. They own 10% of the company now, right? That kind of deal. So I think I lean toward I'm in favor of it. It makes stock price go up, and if you were in it and if you analyzed something like Intel like I did, you would have known, like, okay, you know, all these companies, Trump wants American companies to succeed, and Intel is really struggling. This was like many months ago, earlier this year. So I was like, come on. He's going to have to do something, some kind of a help for Intel to succeed. He wouldn't want to see Intel, this huge United States company, go bankrupt, right? So something's got to happen, and ultimately something did happen. The United States did get involved. It just took them a very long time, and by then I already got bored and left. So I didn't take advantage of any rise on Intel, but it's fine. He also talked about renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War. He says he doesn't want to be defense only. We want offense too. We're going to have to go back to that. In the meantime, I've stopped all of these wars. Yeah, what happened to a president that doesn't start new wars? Now he's saying that he wants to rename Department of Defense to Department of Wars. Okay. Then he also talked about how we did manage to stop the wars between India, Pakistan, and whatever the African countries were, whatever those Southeast Asian countries, whatever they were, Cambodia, Vietnam, I think, or Thailand. No, I think it was Vietnam, whatever it was. I have no idea. I'm very uneducated. But also the Israel-Iran war, and the fact that he's claiming that he is trying to stop the Russia-Ukraine war. So that's why he's trying to rename it to the Department of War. It used to be called that, apparently, in the past, is what he said. Speaking of Russia-Ukraine, it's practically been covered by me yesterday. The fact that they're not looking forward to any meetings anymore by the looks of things. Russia says that no deal can be signed by Zelensky because he is illegitimate, is what they are claiming. Which, that's not a good look as well, and the markets may be crashing a little bit just because of this. I don't think it's the main driver as to why we're crashing. There's got to be something else, but it seems to be just general market sentiment to fear. People don't want to see Bitcoin at these low points. So FOMO is practically fading away a little. So now's the time to accumulate when others are fearful. Go ahead and sell off. I will purchase more. And of course, we know that Trump vows to do everything to end the Russia-Ukraine war. So there is your line of hope still, I guess, for Trump to do something about this Russia-Ukraine war and get it resolved. Once the peace hits, you know, it should do something good for the price of Bitcoin. The next bullish catalyst that markets have been waiting for. This also just happened an hour ago. Trump says that he has just fired Fed Governor Lisa Cook. Okay, so can you fire people at the Fed or not? What's ultimately the deal? It seems like he just did fire this lady. She was accused of mortgage fraud. I showed you guys the chart from a previous stream where it showed like 3 Fed, what do you call them? Federal officials leaning towards Biden. The one in the middle is the crooked Fed Governor Lisa Cook, for accused the fraudster is what he called her. And then we've got 3 other people on the right side that are more pro-Trump, quantitative easing, cut the interest rates kind of deal. And that was the new person that was appointed, Fed Warner and Fed something. I forget, but it's fine. And apparently the US dollar is dropping sharply on this news. I'll be the judge of that. And if the US dollar is dropping, shouldn't Bitcoin be rising, right? Let me go to DXY. I also do hope, like, you know, we do continue crashing and we get that VIX starting to rise, because I would like to take some profits on it by now. It's nothing too significant, so that's why we don't see a major reflection on the price of Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, this would be bullish news for the markets, because I'm assuming Fed Lisa Cook is against cutting rates. It's got to be the case, right? Getting her out, even if she was in favor of it, she'll be replaced by someone else appointed by Trump, who is likely to be in favor of cutting rates, which would increase those chances of seeing a rate cut for September, is ultimately what the markets are hoping for. That's what I would take away from all this. If that actually happens, it's still yet to be determined. We don't know who's going to be replacing, but apparently she got fired. So there you go. Moving on. Crypto news. Michael Saylor indeed purchased more Bitcoin. I kind of alluded to it yesterday. We saw him post that the chart needs more orange. So he just did it. He bought more. Bought 3,081 Bitcoins. Cost $356 million. Average price of $115,829. They now have 632,457 Bitcoins. Spent $46.5 billion to get them. Average price is $73,527. This guy's still buying even at the tops. Even if we're crashing, that's just the power of DCA. And he's very much in profit. So good stuff for Michael Saylor, but unfortunately it was not enough to outpace the people who were selling off the the whales, gosh. The whales that were selling off, I think in total, it was like 30-something thousand Bitcoins that was sold off on the spot market. Of course, we don't see Michael Saylor's reflection of a purchase, because he does these mainly OTC, where he makes a deal with an exchange and says, hey, give me 3,000 Bitcoins, I'll give you $356 million. And they'll be like, okay. And that way he doesn't directly buy on the market that would cause a spike up in the price. That's why we don't see these. But if you just go ahead to the spot market and drop all your Bitcoins and sell them off, could be a couple of reasons why you'd want to do that. Like maybe you have other short positions opened. You would take advantage of, you know, manipulating the market price. Keep in mind, this happened originally on a Sunday evening, a period where there's low volatility. So, or Sunday afternoon it was. And because things were going well. Ethereum was reaching all-time highs. And then you have this whale selling off 20-something thousand Bitcoins on the spot market. Yeah, it's going to have an impact on the price. And of course it causes a cascading effect and lots of longs get liquidated. I think I have the numbers somewhere. The amount of longs that got liquidated. $344 million in crypto positions were liquidated just within the past hour. Not this past hour, but from 4 p.m. earlier this afternoon. So yeah, lots of longs getting liquidated in that sense. Now, is the cycle top in? No, it isn't, in my opinion. There's been no retail euphoria. We didn't get rate cuts yet. We didn't get massive quantitative easing. There's no top indicators that are being flashed from other analysts. Institutions keep on loading up, even though we're seeing a bit of a sell-off coming from it, from the ETFs. But I'm sure we'll see that turn around just as fast as it, you know, just as fast as they sold off, they'll be buying back once again at higher prices. They say you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. So altcoins are also already massively oversold. Like something like Aptos, I don't think will continue dropping that much further. Pepe, I think it's also not likely to drop much further. Things that can drop a little further because they've gone up so much would be things like Litecoin, XRP, not even Solana for that matter, right? Stellar, not much really. Ethereum would be an example as well as something that's just risen so much that it could have a good sell-off. But I don't think it will nonetheless. They still remain strong, the ones that are still there. So that's good overall. The timeline is bearish. People are calling for the bear market. So that's your indicator to go max long according to James Wynn. Don't actually. Because this guy's a gambler and he always loses his money. Market makers just wiped out all the overly leveraged longs, so now it's time to rip. Hey, didn't I call yesterday we would be crashing down to 108,000 because of all the long positions that are ready to be liquidated? I think we practically were in the process of that, so there you go. Price is going down and open interest is going up, so what do you think happens next year? Open interest going up, that's basically more leverage positions opening up. It's going to be one of two things, of course. That's either longs or shorts. I'm likely leaning to the fact that this might be more short positions opening, and that is a good thing. Sure, keep shorting the price. There will be a point where we hit a critical support level, which I think 108,000 is going to be that level. And then we will just accumulate from there because it's going to be so much buying power. All the leveraged longs are gone. They're no longer there. It's all leveraged shorts now. And those shorts will get liquidated. Those positions will get forced closed because number one, you're shorting Bitcoin and you shouldn't do that. Bitcoin's meant to go up forever. And then number two, yeah, the momentum is going to catch up once again after, RSI indicator, for example, becoming oversold at this level. A lot of people are going to be looking at this 108 to purchase once again and liquidate a lot of shorts on our way back up again, which I'm hoping is the case. So that's what I interpret from that. Other people are saying the CME gap, this whole issue. Okay, we'll talk about it. Bitcoin seems to be in a distribution phase. Whales selling off, ETF outflows are happening. Public listed companies buying has almost stopped. Also, there's a CME gap around 94 to 96,000 level, which shouldn't be ignored. I kind of hope that is not the case, because if that does, if we do go back down there to fill up that gap, sure, maybe that's a reversal point, but when I've said it before already, like the 98,000, going below 98,000, that's going to suck. And I don't think I want to see that happen. The more likely CME gap that we're able to hit, I think, would be the 117,000 CME gap. Right around here, right? What is it? 23rd of August, which would be over here, to 24th. Yeah, 100. What is the CME gap for this weekend? Did we already fill it up? I don't think we did. You could check with Bitcoin, this ticker, BTC 1 exclamation mark. That's how you check the possible CME gaps. The way you read this chart, of course, is find the weekend, which is in between these two candles in the daily chart. You find where price closed on the day before, which would be, if this is a green candle, open is here, lowest point is here, highest point is here, closing point is here. So price closed right there. And then the opening of the next candle, which if this is a down candle or red candle, the opening price is here. Highest point, lowest point, close point. Next day opens here, right? So opening point is there. This is your CME gap from 113 to 117,000. That is where we have a CME gap. Then I think this is more likely to get filled. Another part of the reason why for this week, I'm more leaning toward the bullish side, that we will continue higher. Hopefully that is the case. All right. We also got today the SEC Crypto Task Force met with Kraken to discuss tokenization of traditional assets, which include a proposal for a tokenized trading system and regulatory frameworks to operate it. That would be really cool, and I'd probably reinstall Kraken if they actually managed to get tokenized assets. Although, because this is the SEC, obviously that's going to be in the United States and not in Canada. So we'll see what happens, but tokenized assets, I'm all here for it. I love it. So can't wait. Tether, oh yeah, this is just part of the reason why one should stay bullish on Aptos, for example. We're seeing Tether traffic, seeing $1.24 trillion in on-chain transfer volume in July. So this is last month. Aptos has grown into the third biggest USDT transport layer because it's probably so cheap and effective, following Tron and Ethereum. Tron and Ethereum mainly because you're forced to. Like, I had to transfer USDT over and I had to use Ethereum for it, and it was such a painfully large gas fee. So, you know, other solutions are there, and Aptos is one of them, and Aptos is growing in adoption. So I think that would be good overall for price of Aptos eventually things to go up. Part of the reason why I'm also, you know, willing to buy at these prices, because I think this has to be bottom, right? It can't go much lower than this. And once Aptos gains its popularity, even as if it's as big as Sui, it would be something explosive. So looking forward to that. We are seeing whales also buying $2.5 billion worth of Ethereum and staking it all immediately. These guys aren't scared. Why are you scared? The Pantera Capital plans to raise up to $1.25 billion to convert a public company into a Solana investment firm. That would be really cool. The crypto fund will acquire a NASDAQ-listed company. So, is the company going to be Pantera? Does Pantera already exist on the stock market? Pantera blockchain fund to fund closed. Great. So I'm assuming it doesn't exist yet, but they're going to acquire some company. It's obviously not these ones. Yeah, it doesn't exist. They're going to acquire some company, rename it to what? Solana Co. And they'll use their cash to accumulate Solana. That would be pretty good. Institutional adoption. This is also the big news for Ripple. We finally got the XRP MasterCard that was teased a couple days ago. They said it was coming out August 25th, and guess what day it is today? August 25th. So here we are. Meet the Gemini Credit Card XRP Edition. It's designed for enthusiasts. This limited edition metal card, I love metal cards, it gives up to 4% back in XRP instantly. No waiting, just stacking. That's something that I would be interested in. Don't give me just normal cashback rewards or waive my annual fees on a credit card. I worked for collections for like 4 years, so this is a topic that interests me when it comes to credit cards. And picking out the right one. I'm not a big spender either way, so I don't concern myself with rewards that much. I've used other, you know, crypto exchange provided cards like crypto.com. It was good because they gave you like a rebate of 100% on select items like Spotify, Amazon Prime, Netflix, things like that, right? And there was higher tiers for like the plane, Expedia, or flight points, rewards, whatever the case is. But that's for like people, if you stake, what is it, $1 million on in Kronos lockup, they'll give you those benefits. But I don't travel in planes that often. I don't know anyone who does really. So yeah, that kind of stuff is not for me. But the basic stuff, sure, it was fine. And they would pay you back in Kronos though, which the concept was good. I'm like, okay, yeah, good. I don't want fiat money as a cashback. I want Kronos as a cashback. That would be cool. But the issue is, okay, Kronos, number one, it's inflationary. And the price has been suppressed for a very long time. So all these rewards that I've quote unquote been accumulating, instead of gaining their value, because that's the reason why I want a cryptocurrency, is for it to go up in value, it was actually losing its value. And I was like, okay, this is just demoralizing, right? Why hold on to it? It's not like that anymore. Although they've changed a lot of the stuff to kind of control that inflation. Like, it's no longer 100% cashback on Kronos for, you know, something like Spotify, for example. They reduced that to 80% or something. And that was like, okay, I'm still going to be paying for Spotify then? Yeah, no thanks. I decided to no longer use Spotify. And things like that, right? But like at least everything that I've accumulated, and I've also staked Kronos for like a year lockup kind of thing, or the 180-day lockup that they make you do. Like all of that is there. And Kronos has gone up enough to the point where I'm in profit for all of that. This is all on spot market, right? So there's no leverage involved. And I'm like, okay, I should probably just take out all this money and bring it over to, you know, something like BingX or something where I could trade with leverage and get more value out of that money, instead of having it doing practically nothing there, other than potentially lose its value. Not saying that it will, but, you know, they're trying their best to control the inflation on that coin. But anyways, for this is a big difference. It's MasterCard, it's not Visa, like Kronos card. It's really the only comparison I have to make based off of my experience, so I'm sorry if I'm not giving you the best comparison. But you're getting XRP as a reward over here, which XRP is not inflationary, although they do have their unlocks eventually, but you're getting XRP, and XRP I know will go up over time. It has a max supply. And institutional adoption is there as well. We're getting possible ETFs for that, right? We just got a Wisdom Tree Spot ETF is being proposed, but it got delayed by the SEC. Their decision getting delayed until October. Everything's being delayed until October. Also part of the reason why I think altcoins would likely top out by October. Just on a side note, because we're likely to see all those ETFs get approved, hopefully by then. If not, then yeah, you're going to kill the bull market. But anyway, the XRP card. Okay, you get some good rewards over here. 4% cashback in XRP for gas, EV, and transit, right? 3% on restaurants and dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else. There's no annual fee. That's pretty darn good, I think. And here they posted it on a billboard and everything. And it's offered by Gemini, so it's a partnership between Gemini doing it with XRP. And the card, like, genuinely looks pretty clean, right? Imagine just whipping this out. It looks like you're a trillionaire. It's pretty cool. So there's that. Available today. Limited edition. United States only. But hey, you could apply now if you're in the US. I really want it, but I can't. It's fine. So RLUSD is also supported for US spot trading. There's simplified trading, no extra conversion fees, fast and simple access to crypto and stable value, and a special edition designed for the XRP community. RLUSD, if you don't know, is the stable coin from Ripple Labs. So good stuff. And like I said, XRP had no impact on its price due to this news. Hey, did the bottom come in? Seems like it. I'm starting to turn green on a lot of coins already. I hope that was not bottom. I want us to go lower. As ironic as that sounds. But like I said, really there's actually no fundamentals driving the price lower. It's like this is all just, why are we even crashing? And I take advantage of this. Like, okay, you want to crash, I'll buy. Because I know there's no reason behind this crash. And we were looking forward to good stuff for this week. Mainly it has to be this NVIDIA earnings somehow correlated AI with, you know, Bitcoin and mining and things like that. Just CPUs, GPUs, graphics cards, that kind of stuff. So NVIDIA would be important, and a lot of people are looking at it, not just because of, you know, the crypto market, but also because If you didn't know, Nvidia is like the top company in the world, by the way. $4.385 trillion market cap. Bitcoin would have to double its price to see those numbers. Imagine that. And that can happen. So don't sleep on it. Grayscale also submits their approval for a spot ETF with the SEC. Probably also going to get delayed until October, but we shall see. World Liberty Financial update. So today was the day where the lockbox or something was going to be released. It's this post right here. The lockbox is live. You can now move your World Liberty Financial into the lockbox to begin the unlock process. So it's not like these tokens are going to be released on the market yet. That's going to happen September 1st, and that's when I'm expecting, I don't even know anymore. It's going to be a mixed effect. People will be taking profits and selling off their tokens, but then it's also going to be available in the spot market where people can start accumulating. That doesn't mean necessarily that people will immediately start accumulating, but that's when it officially goes live, right? So it's like this mixed impact. I guess it was strategically timed by the team, which would be a good thing. But for an investor like me who wants the best price, I don't think I'm going to find that. It's up 7% already. What? Hey, it looks like we bottomed out over here. We have pivot levels out of no reference at all. I'm still going to wait it out, honestly. I'll wait for an actually good dip, and then I'll be buying in. Maybe. I don't know. Do we trust Trump? What do you guys think? There's more announcements, of course, that we are expecting more partnerships. World Liberty Financial app, an exchange, a lend and borrow program, and something else they have as a surprise. Almost certain are the app and more partnerships. Exchange and lend and borrow might come shortly after the token becomes tradable, which will be September 1st. But a tradable token without the app would not make much sense, so be prepared for that. So there's still good stuff that could be coming out for it. That's why I'm going to be waiting maybe September 1st. If nothing really else happens with it, it would be a good idea to buy, in my opinion, because you do got good stuff to look forward to with World Liberty Financial. And my last bit of news is that Elon Musk, XAI, officially sues Apple and OpenAI over antitrust violations. There you go. Tim Cook and Sam Altman have fun. Elon Musk is chasing these guys. If you don't know the context, it's basically there was this drama going on where Apple on the App Store was not showing Grok AI, like obviously belongs to Elon Musk, as one of the top AI apps that you must get, and it was really hard to find on the App Store unless you explicitly search for it. Some people were saying, oh, it's because of the Mecha Hitler thing that happened with Grok. Others were saying, oh, it's just a skill issue, like Sam Altman was saying, like my AI, ChatGPT, is better than your AI, Grok AI, which I disagree with that. I think Grok is better than ChatGPT. There's other metrics and benchmarks that show that it's better. And Musk was like, no, you guys are doing this on purpose. You guys are manipulating the masses and, you know, to benefit your own companies. You guys have a partnership also going on between Apple and OpenAI. So obviously you want your company to succeed instead of mine. This is favoritism and I'm going to sue you over it. They didn't think that he was serious, but looks like it's there. He's really doing it. And then it got into this huge Twitter battle as to, okay, who's the manipulator? Who's the liar? Here you are, you know, manipulating news on who you should vote for, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. ChatGPT would say, oh, you should vote for Kamala Harris because of the X and X reasons. And then why should I vote for Trump? No reason at all to vote for Trump. That kind of suppression or censorship, to say the least, right? Manipulating stuff. And then Sam Altman was like, oh yeah, well, you boosted your own engagement on Twitter, so you're the manipulator, that kind of thing. But we'll see where this lawsuit takes things. OpenAI does not trade publicly on the stock market, but Apple does. I want to see if there is any impact on it, although it could show a bit of an impact. Let me see. AAPL. Weird ticker, by the way. I hate Apple's ticker. AAPL. Like, you just missed out on putting APPL or something. 10 a.m. This news came out. Yeah, it's not really a big impact on the price. I think we're still stable. Bitcoin's at 109,800, so we ended up recovering. We did not continue crashing, and I might have messed up, guys. No, I think I'm fine. I'll wait it out. I'll let, the price do what it's gotta do. Maybe tap that 108,185. That's where my trigger order is. Please, Bitcoin, do that. And then Bitcoin can take off. I've got a big order waiting right there. We shall see. Okay, great. Tomorrow won't be live. Wednesday, I'll be back to cover NVIDIA earnings, which a lot of people have... I'm pretty sure good expectations for it. NVIDIA's been beating all their quarterly earnings every time. Well, most times. No, yeah, every time, really. So, I'm on a weekly chart. Yeah, I think I should go well as well. Like, there's still top company here. Come on. Why would top company be going bad? That doesn't make sense. Top company would be going good, and then that's why it is remaining the top company. But anyway. There's that. Wednesday we'll be covering. Thursday we'll do the GDP data. And then Friday PCE data. The favorite Fed... the Federal Reserve's chosen gauge of underlying inflation in the U.S. economy because it excludes volatile and energy prices to help determine how inflation is really going. Yeah. Oh, Fed Waller's speech. Okay, I guess that's new. Although I doubt nothing much would be groundbreakingly new stuff. All right, it's all just to help determine what's going to happen in September's meeting. We want that percentage to be as high as possible, is ultimately the case. All right, great. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you Wednesday, like I said, and have a good night. Bye.